I think growing up in Belarus was really beneficial in many ways because it is devoid of a lot of opportunities. And I think that basically put me in sort of this crossroads of a decision of like, oh, do I continue pursuing this art thing even though it literally might never amount to anything? Just that extra layer of hardship, I guess, I wouldn't trade it for the world, even though it's far from pleasant. It gave me that deepened appreciation for having a community, having people around that actually care about what I care about, because there was none of that in Belarus. And so now I cherish ability to connect with artists and see what life is like for artists and sort of their natural habitats. So it's quite fascinating to me. Had the privilege to meet artists on almost every continent at this point, and we are all a lot more similar than we think. There's no organized way of doing it. It's just that THU last year, and then yeah, the girls were there, and I came by and we bonded over living in dictatorship countries. That was our conversation. And then, yeah, we just stayed in touch, messaged online, and I just asked, hey, what can we do to help? And, they are all involved with the women in animation and also just trying to sort of get the youth there to participate in computer graphics and stuff like that. So I was like, oh, this is fantastic. One thing led to another, and we were on a plane to Uganda. There's obviously challenges, just the fact that every time we would work through the day, whether it's master classes or just doing demos of Promethean AI tools for the folks there, the fact that you might just have electricity go out sporadically every 30 minutes is not something you're used to. In general, I think also the access to the internet and the ability for people to easily find information that they need and find the tutorials and sort of find information in the best possible format for them to consume is not as easily spread, and that's a fundamental right at this point. It's still possible to persevere within those circumstances, and I guess what we're all trying to do, and hopefully what people there are trying to do, is just find the people passionate enough to push through. All of these things are beatable as long as you have that fire, that drive, that motivation. Fundamentally, it's that idea that everyone's stories deserve to be told. Like, that's the conviction that we have internally on the team, and we wanted to make sure that we can do our part to facilitate that. And if that means getting on a plane and sharing what we know, then we're happy to do it. Happiness is being understood, and I think that when you have outlandish dreams and aspirations, that feeling of being understood does not come by very often. And I feel like being surrounded by people that are going through similar things and just feeling understood sometimes is the best family you're ever going to get in life. The people who can make the most out of it are not necessarily the people that are located geographically where you're going to do a master class or something. Yeah. So reaching out to those people in places where they don't have a lot of access might actually be the best thing you can do with your time, because if it reaches the right person that is just extremely motivated, that might be enough for them to, change the world 10 years later. In so many ways, we're this big giant tapestry of stories that is this planet. And I think authentic stories are basically the stories that enrich that tapestry, that add a color that wasn't there before. And so even though these stories are kind of about us and from us, they're actually there to project to the rest of the world that these colors, us, exist. And I think that's very important to have all of those colors represented.